Dear students and viewers, good morning. Welcome to our online class Sakhipur Pilot Girls High School. Dear students and viewers, hi, I am Arman Khan, Assistant Teacher in English, Sakhipur Pilot Girls High School. Dear students, in the previous class, I discussed about changing sentence, how to change simple sentence into compound and complex. Today I am going to discuss about how to change compound to simple. Our topic today is compound to simple. Dear students, can you remember what is compound sentence? There will be a principal clause, one or more principal clause will be connected with coordinating conjunction. And simple sentence, there will be only one subject and one finite verb. Okay, come to the point. Rule 1. The farmer finished the work and returned home. Here you can see only one subject before and there is no subject after the conjunction and. Here is only one subject. If we want to change this sentence into simple, at first we have to change the first verb of the first clause of the verb into participle. That means you have to use base form and you have to add ing with this base form of the verb. Then you have to write the rest of the part before and the work. That means finishing the work, you have to use comma instead of and. Then you have to write the subject of the first clause, the farmer. Then you have to write after the and from the beginning to last. Returned home. Please listen to me carefully. If the compound sentence there is any conjunction and there is only one subject between the clauses. Here subject was only the farmer. Then you have to, if you want to change into simple sentence, then you have to change the first verb. That means the verb of the first clause. It will be changed into participle. That means you have to use the base form of the verb and you have to use add ing with the base form of the verb. It will be participle. Then you have to write the rest of the part of the clause before up to the before and. Then you have to write the subject of the first clause, the farmer, and then you have to write the after and the last of the sentence, returned home. Finishing the work, the farmer returned home. Now, are you clear about this sentence? Okay. Come to the another rule 2. If the subjects are different between the two clauses, the game was over and so. everybody went away. Went away. Here we can see the subjects are different between the two clauses, and here is only one subject, the farmer. If we want to change this compound sentence into simple, then the subject will not be changed. At first you have to write the subject of the first clause, the game. Then be verb will be changed into participle. That means the base form of the verb be. And you have to add ing with the base form. It will participle. Then the rest of the part of the clause of verb. Then you have to use comma instead of and so. And the second clause, everybody went away, will not be changed. Everybody went away. What is the difference between the two examples? You can see here is only one subject and there is the two subjects between the two clauses. And if we want to change it to compound, the verb of the first clause will be in participle. It will be changed into participle. Then you have to use comma instead of conjunction and so. Now, are you clear about these rules? Okay, come to the another rule. 3. Read the poem or you will be punished. Even in the compound sentence, the conjunction or. If you want to change this sentence into simple, at first you have to bring without. Then you have to write the verb read, and with this verb you have to add ing. That means it will be changed into gerund. Rest of the part of the clause, the poem, and you have to write comma instead of or, and the second clause will not be changed. You will be punished. It's very easy rules. Listen to me carefully. If the conjunction or and there are two clauses is connected with or, if you want to change into simple sentence, at first you have to write bring, and you have to bring without at the beginning of the simple sentence. Then the verb of the first, it will be changed into gerund. Then the rest of the part of the clause, then you have to use comma instead of or, and the second clause will not be changed. Okay, come to the another rule. Rule 4. If the conjunction but. Rule 4. The girl tried her best, but she could not shining life. Shine in life. Here the conjunction but. If there is the conjunction in the compound sentence but, at first you have to write or you have to bring in spite of at the beginning of the simple sentence, in spite of or despite. Then you have to write the possessive form of the subject. If the subject is feminine, then possessive form will be her. If the subject is masculine, then possessive form will be his. And it will be plural, then possessive form is there. In spite of or despite her, the verb will be changed into participle. That means you have to write the base form of the verb, then you have to add ing with the base form of the verb. Then write the rest of the part of the clause. Her best. You have to use comma instead of but. Then instead of she, you have to write the subject of the first clause, noun. And if the sentence, and here is the pronoun, instead of pronoun you have to write the noun of the first clause, the girl. Then you have to write the rest of the part after the subject of the second clause, after the last of the clause. Could not shine in life. Listen to me carefully. If the conjunction but in compound sentence, if you want to change into simple, at first you have to write in spite of or despite instead of but. Then you have to write the possessive form of the subject. Then you have to write the ing form of verb, that means participle. And then you have to write the rest of the part of the clause, her best. Then you have to write comma instead of but. After that, you have to write the subject of the first clause. Then you have to write the rest of the part of the clause, could not shine in life. It's very important rule. Now come to the another rule, 5. The man was very weak to, and so he could not work. You can see here the conjunction and so, and before adjective there is very. If you want to change into simple sentence, then you have to write the subject and verb will be same. Instead of very, you have to write to. Then you have to write adjective. Then you have to write to instead of and so. Then you have to write the verb of the second clause from the verb to the last, up to the last of the clause. Listen to me what I am saying. You have to write instead of very, then you will have to write with adjective, then you have to use to instead of conjunction and so, then you have to write the verb from verb to the up to the last of the clause. The man was too weak to walk. It's also very important rule. Next, come to the another rule 6. Toma helped a boy and he was poor. Here conjunction and in the second clause there is be verb and adjective. If you want to change into simple sentence, then you have to write subject and verb will be the same of the first clause. Toma helped a. Then you have to write the adjective of the second clause. Oh. Then you have to write the object, that means noun of the first clause. It's very easy rule. Toma helped a boy and he was poor. In the second clause, is be verb and adjective. If you want to change into simple, then you have to, this adjective will be before the object of the first clause. Toma helped a poor boy. Okay, come to the next rule. Rule 7. Compound to simple is not same. It's not very hard. It's very simple. To change into simple sentence is very easy. Rule 7. Here was cooking rice and the bell rang. If in the compound sentence the first clause is past continuous tense and there is the conjunction and, if you want to change it to simple sentence, at the beginning of the simple sentence you have to write at the time of. At the time of. Then you have to write the possessive form of the subject. Here. Here's. Then you have to write the ing form of verb. Cooking. Rest of the part of the clause. Rice. Then you have to use comma instead of and the second clause will not be changed. The bell rang. Listen to me what I am saying. In the compound sentence, if the first clause is past continuous tense and the conjunction will be and, at the beginning of the simple sentence you have to write at the time of, then you have to use possessive form of the subject. Here's. Then you have to write ing form of verb. before and cooking rice. Instead of and you have to use comma, and the second clause will not be changed. At the time of his cooking rice, the bell rang. Next, come to the another rule. 8. It was Saturday. And I visited Cox's Bazar. If the conjunction and at the first clause, if any day, date, short time, long time or season, and if the simple compound sentence begin with impersonal pronoun int, if you want to change into simple sentence, you have to use preposition on before day or date. And here is the season. Then you have to use preposition in or during. And here is the short time. Then preposition will be at. Then you have to write the day, date, season or long or short time. And you have to use comma instead of and the second clause will not be changed. I visited Cox's Bazar. On Saturday, I visited Cox's Bazar. It's very easy rule. Next, come to the another rule. 9. If the compound sentence begin with it, introductory it or impersonal it, was Johnny and he is an engineer. Here is the object Johnny and the subject of the another clause are the same, and also the object of the second clause are the same. So if you want to change into simple sentence, you have to write the object of the first clause Johnny, then you have to write the from verb to the last of the second clause. Here will be was, because there is was an engineer. Now are you clear about these rules? Okay. If the subject, object and the subject of the second clause before and after conjunction and, then you have to write the object of the first clause, then you have to write from verb to the last of the second clause. Johnny was an engineer. Last rules. Kia was ill, and so she could not attend the meeting. The meeting. Kaya was ill and so she could not attend the meeting yesterday. Yesterday. If the first clause or second clause indicates any reason of the another work, if you want to change into simple sentence, then you have to use at the beginning of the clause because of. Because of. Then you have to write the possessive form of the subject, because of her. Then you have to use the base form of the verb, being. Then you have to write adjective. Listen to me carefully. If the first clause or second clause indicates any reason of another work, then you have to use to change into simple sentence because of. Then you have to use the possessive form of the subject, her. Then you have to use being, ing form or verb, base form of the verb, and you have to use at with the base form of the verb. That means you have to make the verb into participle. Then you have to write the adjective, and you have to write comma instead of and so. Then you have to write the subject of the first clause, kya. Then you have to write after subject up to the last of the second clause, kya could not attend the meeting yesterday. Now, are you clear about these rules? Okay, dear students, just I have discussed all the important rules from compound to simple. You have to try your best at your home to practice more and more and try to save from coronavirus. Thank you everybody.